on the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield. Live from the Hyatt Regency, this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Brought to you by Authentic Brand, unique Hawkeye apparel at authentic-brand.com. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. By your local Ford dealers. Hy-Vee, score big savings with a new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Corn, you might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular, built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. I'm Gary Dolphin alongside former Hawkeye great Bobby Hansen, NBA champion Bobby Hansen. We're going to talk about Iowa basketball. Last Wednesday night, a big victory over North Florida, and last night, our tough road trip. What road trip in the Big Ten isn't difficult, Bobby Hansen? You played it for almost 5 years and came up with a lot of victories with your head coach and Lute Olson, and it's last night I'm sitting there thinking about all the great Iowa-Purdue matchups in Mackey Arena, and it doesn't get any easier, especially when you have a guy like Zach Edey you're trying to defend.
Yeah, he's a big man, no doubt about it. And Hawkeyes came in there knowing what the task was at hand. Purdue was #1 in the country last week. Dropped a game overtime loss at Northwestern last Friday night. So you kind of knew that they were really looking at that game on Monday night to get back on track. So the Hawks came in with the game plan. That was to try to get after Zach Edey. But he is so big. I mean, he just dominated inside. And he's physical. He's got a big body. He's gotten a lot better in his skills. He can pass the basketball out of those double teams, and those guys were hitting shots. So tough place to play. You're right. For some terrible reason, I just sit there and think of that game, that Jim Bain game. I think it was 1981 or 82.
That still comes up every time we go to Purdue.
I just think of it. I remember I was telling Peyton Sanford as we were walking out after shoot-around, and I said, I remember Coach Olson, he was irate, chased the guy up the tunnel, and threw a garbage can at him, and all popcorn and all kinds of stuff was flying out. Lute thought he was going to get suspended, but no suspension because it was such a horrible call.
Now, if I remember, Jim Bain, either he was his own pilot or he had an airplane with a pilot, and he took off after the Purdue game for Kansas, and he refereed that night in Kansas.
So they say. I have no idea.
Well, I don't know either, but it makes for a good story, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was unfortunate because that was for like the Big Ten title. There was a couple more games to go. I think we dropped one at home, a triple overtime to Minnesota. But I was filling Peyton in a little bit on how that went down. And I just walk in there. It's a great venue.
It is.
I mean, it's a basketball crazy state, no doubt about it. I mean, you look at everybody that's gone through there. Let's start with it. The address is John Wooden Way. The bus dropped the kids off. I mean, you got the football right there, and they've remodeled it, done a great job over there. Matt Painter does a fantastic job.
He does.
Getting those big guys. I mean, they had 2 big guys sitting on the bench. So it's like Iowa's tight end. Purdue must be big guy U.
Big guy U. It is lately. And right next door is the old Purdue Fieldhouse where John Wooden, the John Wooden, 1932 led Purdue to its first ever national championship. They've been to 2 Final Fours since that time, and ranked #1 this year before Northwestern bumped them off. But of course, you met Purdue and Joe Barry Carroll in the 1980 Final Four.
Consolation round, yeah. Worst game I think ever was involved in, to be honest with you. Nobody was there at Market Square Arena.
That's when they still played the 3rd and 4th place game, right?
They played one more after that, I think, in '81. But, nobody was really into it. And I shot way too many times in that game, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to shoot every time I touch
Why
the
not?
ball.
It didn't mean anything, right?
It didn't mean anything.
Yeah,
so
and that was the famous Ronnie Lester re-injures his knee against Louisville and the great Darrell Griffith, and the rest is history. But I remember Denny Crum always saying, had Ronnie Lester not injured that knee, he thinks Iowa would have been national champions.
Yeah, that's a good compliment from the great Denny Crum there, but I believe it as well. But Ronnie was like perfect from the field. I think he was 4 for 4. It happened early in the first half. He went up for a breakaway layup kind of, and the guy got him from behind, and the knee just kind of buckled on him. It kind of went, and decided not to take any chances with that. But Ronnie had an unbelievable college career, probably the best point guard I ever saw. I think Magic Johnson agrees with that had that injury not occurred, he would have had a 12, 15-year NBA career. But as it stands, he had a great career and went on into the administrative part of it with the Los Angeles Lakers and is doing very well from what I hear down in Florida.
Yeah, every time we bump into Ronnie, he's so, like BJ, still gracious and great to see and all this. But yeah, back to present day, it was a rocky road trip to Purdue, which most are in the Big Ten. The National Player of the Year last year, probably will be again this year, Zach Edey. Scored 25 points, collared 12 rebounds as the fourth-ranked Boilermakers bounced back from a big-time loss at Northwestern, upset loss at Northwestern, to defeat the Iowa Hawkeyes 87-68 last night down in West Lafayette. Now, Edey, Bobby, had plenty of support.
He did.
4 other double-figure scorers, including the Southern Illinois transfer Lance Jones. I was so impressed with him. He contributed 17 points and 14 in the second half, and I bring that up because many times we've gone in there and the Hawks have battled back from a deep double-digit halftime deficit to have a chance to win at the end or win it. Lance Jones slammed that door shut early. He had 10 early second half points, and that's Matt Painter to a T.
Yeah, and when I talked to Coach McCaffrey after the game, Fran mentioned that they had to press. I mean, they had to come back. The Hawks only had 24 points at halftime. They were down by 21, so you got to put the press on, and they were ready. Matt knew that they would press. The Hawkeyes had done it in the past with success, both in the three-court pressure and half-court pressure, but they just kind of threw it over the top, and Lance Jones was open. So no fault there. The kid made shots. I remember a shot he made over Thanksgiving to knock off Marquette, maybe, but it was a halftime three-quarter court heave, and it drops over there in Maui or in Honolulu where they were playing.
Yeah, right.
And they end up winning by 3. So yeah, that's a heck of a transfer portal pickup there. Lance Jones, number 55. It's kind of an odd number for a guard that's out there, but they got a lot of weapons, and I got to be honest. I think this team is capable of being a Final Four team again. Maybe even national champions. It depends on the matchups. I mean, they go down to Fairleigh Dickinson last year, a 16 beat a 1. So that's going to be that's his motivation as they get back there this year.
Guarantee you that's their number one motivation, that and win the Big Ten championship again. Lance Jones, 17 points, 14 in the second half. The Hawkeyes were held to 38% shooting and led by forward Ben Crickey's 16.7 rebounds. Tony Perkins had 12 markers and 6 boards.
Tony played hard.
He did, and they were down by 35. They made a nice run with the backups to get to within 19, 20 at the end. And I bring that up because the Hawkeye freshmen, especially Owen Freeman and Brock Harding, that solid duo from Moline High School, they had their moments. And I think that'll help them going forward. But it was the Purdue depth around Zach Edey, its overall execution, that put a stranglehold on this game right from the outset, Bobby. Remember this, to your point, this is a Boilermaker team that beat 3 top 15 teams. Not 1, not 2, but 3 at the Maui Classic over Thanksgiving, and was ranked a solid number 1 before that trip to Evanston last week.
Yeah, the Hawks couldn't make shots either in the first half. Just 10 of 32, 31%, and just 1 of 9 from long range. That was a DeSante Bowen 3 that pulled the Hawks within 5, 15-10. Looking at my sheet, but it just kind of got rolling downhill a little bit, and then they started hitting threes. They end the half with 3 threes made. And Gillis, you mentioned that bench, the depth, and you can bring a guy like Mason Gillis and Ethan Morton off the bench, Caleb First. Those are rugged guys, man. They come in there and they're physical. They scrap out the loose ball rebounds, and the 2 guards are phenomenal. Little guy, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer has had off to a great start. Braden Smith is All-American numbers. He didn't get too many last night, just had 1 basket, but they got a lot of parts, man, and they're going to be a tough out when they get going, but rebounding. When I talked to Coach McCaffrey briefly at shoot around, and what's your number one key? And we can allow him to tell us that, but he said rebounding. He said we can't allow the offensive rebounds. Everybody's got to be in there. And as it holds, the Hawks got 16 offensive rebounds, but so did Purdue, and 9 of those 16 were by the big man, Zach Edey, inside.
Well, when Zach Edey makes 9 of his first 10 shots, rebounding is not a factor. And out of the gate, right out of the gate, first possession, he goes to the foul line.
Yeah, makes his free throws.
He made 7 of 9 free throws in the first half. I don't want to say he's unguardable, but he's pretty close to who in the world can handle a 7'4", 280-pound center. And Fran talked about that on, forever in the pregame show. He said, look, and they were throwing double teams, triple teams at him, and that leaves other guys open. And they hit a lot of threes in that first half as well. Yeah,
they hit for the game. What were they? 8 of 25 first half, 3-point shooting, 5 of 9. So that's a 56% shooting there. And it's like you got to have another big guy, I guess. But those big guys are really hard to find, and they're not really out there in high school and that. So, on a national scale, I see somebody. You got Cliff Omarui at Rutgers would give him he'd block some shots in there. He's not as physical as Zach.
No.
He's going to have some help in there. Maybe Hunter Dickinson from the Michigan transfer that went to Kansas. They'll probably meet up, somewhere down the line there. But he impressed me. I mean, number one, he came back. I mean, we're going to have to ask Fran. I would love to ask Fran, why does the NBA not have these big guys on their radar high anymore? I mean, to me, if I'm the Indiana Pacers, I'd take a look at this big guy and have him in there. He could just get some rebounds and some dunks and some putbacks. He seems like he can run pretty good. He makes his free throws. Big man that can make free throws. He probably doesn't shoot it too well outside 15 feet. He's not going to be that Giannis Antetokounmpo who's going to step out there, or Victor Wembanyama who's going to go out there and shake and bake and make threes on you. Those guys are tall as well, but a lot thinner. And to me, you got to guard him inside. But one way to catch it is when the big fella brings the ball down low, and the Hawks were trying to do that. I know Tony got a couple of strips, got a couple of steals. But it's good learning. You got to flush this, Gary. You got to move on and forget about it because you got a big one coming up Thursday night.
Yeah, it's one game in the conference, and it's maybe against the best team in the Big Ten talent-wise. And the other thing, when Purdue was making shots early, they were able to set their defense up immediately.
Yeah, and it's physical.
Very physical. Very physical.
It's man-to-man.
And in the past, Iowa would get turnovers and go down and get layups and come back from a 12, 14-point deficit. That wasn't the situation last night. Purdue much better, and this goes back to Matt Painter, and he keeps preaching it every year, and he and Fran are very close, they're very good friends. But the bottom line is they were making shots, able to set up their defense. The Hawks weren't turning them over. I've got the stat sheet here somewhere. I think they only had 8 or 9 turnovers for the entire game. It's going to be tough to beat Purdue at Mackey Arena when they only turn the ball over 8 times.
How about that crowd and the new sound system that just blows your eardrums out?
I'm glad I'm wearing headsets when I go to Mackey Arena.
We were up way high there, and we were like scoreboard high level, and it just was killing us up there. But very impressive student section that they have, the paint crew. I mean, they have the choreographed cheers and all that stuff. They're respectful. They're not belligerent. But, great environment. Fans were very respectful that were all around us. And they love basketball over there in the state of Indiana.
It is Indiana. And when you think about Indiana, Purdue, Notre Dame, and all the other ooey-pooeys.
Indiana State, Evansville.
Indiana State, Terre Haute. It is an incredible basketball state. But the Hawkeyes, they roared back in the second half, played hard. We'll talk about Owen Freeman, who won his 3rd Big Ten Freshman of the Week honor on Monday, yesterday. And that didn't go without notice. Brock Harding certainly played his best as a Hawk last night. Laji Dembele continues to fight hard. That freshman class is a special class. We'll talk about that in just a minute. We'll also hear from Coach McCaffrey when he arrives on the scene. This is Hawk Talk. We're at the beautiful, newly remodeled Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. Thanks to the ladies and the staff here tonight, taking very good care of us. Iowa, as we review Iowa Purdue and Iowa North Florida. Since we were here last, the Hawkeyes knocked off North Florida, not their final non-conference game. Iowa now has another Big Ten game with Michigan coming up Thursday. But prior to that, it's the Iowa State Cyclones on Thursday night. We'll preview that game for you when we come back from our first break. The Hyatt Regency is the host for Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. You can watch the show live while enjoying $3 drafts of Exile Brewing's Swarm Golden Ale. Each time you come to the show, you'll be entered into the hotel's drawing to win a range of prizes, including a free overnight stay, a giveaway each week. A free overnight every week. We give it away. All entries pooled together for a grand prize drawing at the end of the season. Thank you to Matt and the staff here at the Hyatt Regency. We're also sponsored by Authentic Brand, and that's where you come in to play right now. You can reach us on Facebook or on Twitter. We'll give you those addresses in just a minute. But if you submit an interesting question for Coach McCaffrey each week via Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks, you could win a Hawkeye gear prize pack, a merch pack from Authentic Brand. Authentic Brand. So let's give you those numbers right now. Once again, on Twitter at Gary Dolphin and on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Send us your tweet or your Facebook post right now, and you could be a winner at the end of the night. We're talking Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series week. Bobby, you know how much fun it is to go to Hilton Coliseum. You played there. And whether it's here at Carver Hawkeye Arena, I say that facetiously, of course, a little tongue-in-cheek. I know how you love going to Hilton Coliseum.
4-0 we were, baby.
Well, yeah, when you played, yeah, that's right. Never beat you, right? It's been a great series since it was reinstituted back in the 70s, and here we are, Iowa State coming up on Thursday night. We'll talk about start times and pregame shows and all that when we return. But the bottom line is the Cyclones and the Hawks get after it. The Hawks play at Purdue. Now they go to Hilton Coliseum and then host Michigan Sunday afternoon. Might be one of their toughest weeks for competition, at least if you look at the power rankings that Iowa will face all year long, including the Big Ten. I'm looking at we're watching the Jimmy V Classic out of Madison Square Garden. The Hawks were there a year ago and played Duke. Illinois is taking on Florida Atlantic right now. Florida Atlantic in the Final Four last March.
Number 11, Florida Atlantic.
And Illinois has a 10-point lead on Florida Atlantic. So the Big Ten flexing its muscles, at least at this hour. And we'll talk more about that game on our U.S. Bank scoreboard throughout the evening. All right, we'll step out, take our first break. We're at the Hyatt Regency. You're invited. We're here from 7 until 8:30 each and every week on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa at Iowa State coming up Thursday. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corn grows Iowa.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at U.S. Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from U.S. Cellular, you can even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at U.S. Cellular. Get any phone free today. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Welcome back to Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series Week. Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Fran will be here in just a little bit. We're going to hear from Iowa Corn next, though. Throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series, Iowa Corn promotes values that are uniquely Iowan. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all athletes for their hard work and determination, both on and off the field. Just like our athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Follow Iowa Corn on Facebook to learn how corn grows Iowa. Thank you, Iowa Corn. In fact, we're going to visit right now with Stan Nelson. He's down there in Danville, Iowa. Not Danville, Illinois. Danville, Iowa, in southeast Iowa, Des Moines County. And Stan is the president of the Iowa Corn Promotion Board, which just announced today, Bobby, they will be the keynote sponsor for the NASCAR event coming to the Iowa Speedway in Newton next summer.
The Iowa Corn 350 powered by ethanol. And when I read that today at work, it was, the guy that I used to work for, Stan Clement, tried so hard to get that NASCAR race there, and he passed away. But I can only think of Stan when I hear that, Craig Floss and the crew stepped up, and they were ready many, many years ago, and finally NASCAR honored them with that 350-mile race, 350 laps, I guess it'll be, around that 7/8 of a mile racetrack, the fastest track in the country, and it's also sold out already. Grandstands are sold, huh? And camping is sold out.
Well, it's NASCAR, baby,
yeah.
And it's right off Interstate 80 at Newton. But here's my visit with Stan Nelson, president of the Iowa Corn Promotion Board, about Iowa State coming up Thursday night and everything that is Iowa corn. Stan, the Iowa Corn Promotion Board is annually proud to sponsor the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series when the Hawks and the Cyclones compete. All eyes from the state pay attention. Iowa just grinds to a halt. It's a great tradition for the state of Iowa, and I know Iowa Corn is a proud supporter.
Yes, all eyes in the state are on the series, but that actually gets spread out coast to coast, Gary, with the two Power 5 conferences we've got going in our state. This series is watched all across the country. 70% of the Iowans tune in. We're really excited about being able to share our experience on the farm.
For sure. One of the charges of the Iowa Corn Checkoff is to educate consumers about corn and corn products, and we love sharing our story with fans as part of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. What's your favorite part about that promotion?
Being able to share our experience and the improvements that we've made. Our soil husbandry has improved the soil to the point that we're growing more yield with less inputs, and with the state being in some segment of drought this year, and we're still have a 2.1 billion bushel carryover. So we've got the corn, we're sustainable, it's renewable, we're really excited.
Yeah, you got it in the bin now. It's in the drying bins. It sounds like another great year. Like you say, the lack of moisture was certainly a factor. It was different all around the state, but it sounds like on balance, the Iowa Corn Promotion Board is pretty pleased with the results.
Yes, and there's going to be lots of conversations at agronomy meetings this winter on rainfall and timing and amount. It's just an exciting time to be farming.
The Iowa Corn Promotion Board does more than education and promotion. So tell me about some of the other work of the Iowa Corn Checkoff.
Well, a lot of the things we do bleed over from education and research and market development. I was able to go this year to London to the textile exchange, and that's clearly out of my comfort zone. To share our experience with those folks in the textile industry. They're typically working with leather and cotton and wool, and those are the materials for clothing, and synthetic material we're all used to, but that's being improved, and we're talking about biosynthetic now. So to go from corn to spandex to Lululemon, and I wasn't familiar with Lululemon. My fashion experience is at the clothing aisle at Farm King, but I learned, and it's really important for them to know that our farmers are sustainable and environmentally responsible.
And as I like to bring up every time we talk about something other than corn, corn's involved in over 4,000 products. It might be 4,500 by now.
Yes, and we have the corn to do it. We have the supply.
Stan, thanks so much for your time. I know where your allegiance lies in this week's game, but that's okay. It's a healthy rivalry, isn't it?
It is, and I watched the football game a couple of nights ago, and they got me wild. So we're all Iowans.
We got room for both the Hawks and the Cyclones. Stan Nelson of the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Thanks so much. Good visiting with you again, and hi to everybody down there in southeast Iowa and the Danville area.
Thank you, Gary.
And back with more after this on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
Only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at US Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from US Cellular, you could even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spon & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spon & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spon & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spon & Rose, buy easier, build better.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
If you're looking for the perfect place to host your holiday party, look no further. Come to Bumps at Finkbine. Have a good time as our new chef, Rick McCombs, provides an unforgettable experience. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday Super Social Hour, where Bumps offers buy one, get one free on domestic beer bottles, house wine, well cocktails, and appetizers. Not only is Bumps the ideal spot for Hawkeye pre-gaming, they also offer a fantastic Sunday brunch. Bumps is your one-stop spot for great food and a great time. Go to finkbine.com for more information.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. Beautiful setting here for our Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey each and every week. Experience the all-new Hyatt Regency Coralville and its freshly renovated spaces. You can stay in a new modern guest room overlooking the river, or check out the state-of-the-art fitness center, pool, and family lounge, and their new cafe serving Starbucks coffee. Come discover all these updates and more on your next Iowa City trip to cheer on the Hawkeyes. You can reach Coach McCaffrey on Facebook.com, or on Facebook at facebook.com/voice of the Hawkeyes, or on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. With that, we welcome in Coach McCaffrey after a rough road trip to Purdue. I guess you could say that about every Big Ten venue, couldn't you, each night, Coach? And this was a team that was legitimately ranked #1, got ambushed at Northwestern after beating 3 top 15 rated teams. You knew what you were going into last night.
Yeah, it's a tough place to play, but we have to play better than that. We have typically played pretty well down there, even a couple times when we got beat. But they just have so many weapons. It obviously starts with the big fella, but you know, Bobby and I were just talking. When you're bringing, you know, Caleb First and Mason Gillis, you know, off the bench, when you think about that experience, guys, Ethan Morton, guys that have started for a #1 ranked team. They're just incredibly deep. They're really big. But, you know, and of course we didn't shoot it well in the first half. Got to shoot it better when you're on the road.
Indeed.
Fran, what is it about Matt getting those big guys? I mean, all the way to Isaac Haas, and I can go on down the line, and you had a couple of guys.
Yeah, you know, A.J. Hammonds.
Hammond, yeah.
Yeah, well, some of those guys are from Indiana. Yeah. Caleb Swanigan and Hammonds and those guys. But he has gone, like, obviously Zach is from, he's from Canada. Isaac Haas, I think, was from Arkansas. So, you know, I mean, you see typically those guys either on the AAU circuit, but a lot of them show up at places like IMG Academy, and I think that's where they got him. And you go down there, they have 12 teams, you know, one place. So there's a lot of good players down there. So you can find them. And he's done well with them, so a lot of times they want to come back and say, okay, he's had a track record of success with those big guys, so they want to go there.
Yeah, and another question we were talking earlier is, like, why is he not higher on a draft board? I saw Connor there last night. I wanted to ask him. It wasn't the right time or place to ask him, but why wouldn't an NBA team take him in the first round? I mean, you got him way down in the second round.
I think they're going to take him in the second round for sure.
Yeah.
You know, his game, you know, the answer would be very simply, his game doesn't translate. That's what I heard all the time about Luka. The difference between him and Luka is Luka made threes, and Luka could make a 17-footer. Mm-hmm. He doesn't make anything outside of a dunk or a layup. Now, he's very good at it. He's a phenomenal offensive rebounder. He's an athlete, even though he's 7'4", 285. He runs. He's physical, and he's able to be physical without getting in too heavy foul trouble. You know, he's a winning guy. Like, he doesn't play selfishly. He kind of keeps control of his emotions. He was not a very good passer when he first got to college basketball, and Matt used to have to take him out. But he had Travion, so it didn't matter, you know. And so now, you know, it's Zach's turn. I mean, Zach used to play 18, 19 minutes a game. Now he's playing, you know, 30, 32. So he's improved his stamina, and he's improved his overall game. So I think the pros are looking at him hard. But, you know, a lot of times in the pros, they play that drop coverage. So as long as they're in drop coverage, you can play him, because he's going to be in drop.
Surrounded him, yeah.
You know, he's not a guy you can play on a hard hedge or in a switching situation. And a lot of teams want to play that way, so they would not be as interested in him.
Fran, I rewatched Matt Painter's post-game press conference again this morning, and He said, you know, we finally got a lead and held it. And he was speaking to the coming out of the halftime break, where they've had the Hawks down by double digits a number of times in Mackey Arena, and he said oftentimes, most of the time, the Hawks have come back because of their half-court traps, the full-court pressure, and he said he attributed the success last night to Lance Jones, his transfer from Southern Illinois. He had a big start to that second half. He said we were able to make shots and then set our defense.
Well, they have really good guards. You know, Lance Jones had a good game, but it starts with Braden Smith. He's the key to it all. And then, you know, Fletcher Lawyer is really good as well. Those two guys are only sophomores, but they started and played all the time as freshmen, so they act like seniors. And then Jones, of course, is a grad transfer, so they're a veteran group back there. They can all dribble the ball, they can all make plays off the bounce, and they can all make threes. So they're much more capable of attacking whatever you're in, whether it's a half-court zone, a half-court trap, a full-court press. And they just move the ball and attack it. And they run the big fellow to the front of the rim, so you've got to go down there and wrestle with him. So that takes some of your ability to fly around away, and that's a game changer.
Well, Edey's the X factor, no doubt. But I thought of a comment you made in our pregame visit last night. You think this might be Matt's deepest team?
There's no question it's his deepest team. You know, I was asked the other day by one of the writers, is this his best team? Well, you know, when I first got here, if you remember that team he had with Jawan Johnson in my first year, that was really a team that I thought could really, you know, go all the way legitimately. Mm-hmm. But he's been knocking on the door every year.
He has.
You know, I mean, I remember it was a couple of years ago they had the Final Four made, and the ball gets deflected in the backcourt, and they throw it up, and a kid hits like a 27-footer, you know, and it goes into overtime, and they lose in overtime. Last year, you know, they had it all set up, and then just didn't make any threes against Fairleigh Dickinson. Fairleigh Dickinson just put everybody in the paint on Zach and
Garrett him on the three line.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Gillis, what did he make, 3 last night? Mm-hmm. And he couldn't make one. Anything can happen in one game. And that's what happened to Purdue last year.
So how do you defend? Looking back, I mean, would you do anything different with the big guy? You had him surrounded, it looked like.
Yeah, we didn't do a good enough job of breaking contact, get to the front, get behind, spin around the other side. Our ball pressure wasn't as good as it needed. You need ball pressure. You need to fight the post. You need to get weak side help. Now, that's problematic when you're playing a team that has as many three-point shooters as they do, because they will find those guys. So even when they missed, Zach was killing us on the glass. I mean, he got offensive rebounds. So that is something you had, because remember there was 2 possessions in the first half where they got 3 shots each. They got 6 shots in 2 possessions just because they kept getting offensive rebounds. So you got to give him credit for that. But they really stretch your defense. You've got to be locked in 5-as-1, and it typically starts with your ball screen defense. And that's where Smith comes in. So like I said, as special as Zach Edey is, the key to it all is Braden Smith.
That's
steady.
Yeah, that's a great point. And, you know, he hurt us with his three-point shooting a year ago as a freshman. Yeah. He's solid. Coach, let's go to Facebook, facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Ken says, Fran, physical defenses like Creighton and Purdue seem to have taken the Hawks out of their game. What can the coaching staff and the players do to counter?
Well, we got to get some stops and be able to get some run-out opportunities, because, you know, we're getting mugged at half court. You know, they're in, you know, Peyton's space. They're all over Tony. They're all over Ben. So, I mean, that's going to be true for any team that we play, that anybody that's physical like that. If the game is officiated that way and we're not getting enough stops, it's going to be harder. So we got to do a better job defensively so we can get out in transition. That's when you get to the free throw line. That's when you get to the bonus. That's when you have your open threes. But if you're coming down and you're playing against a stacked defense that's that big, I mean, that's as big a team as there is in college basketball, probably the biggest. When you look at their wings, they're all 6'7", and their forwards are 6'9" and 6'10", and then of course they got the 7'4" guy. So, I think those are the things that are going to have to, come around for us if we're going to beat that caliber of a team, and certainly something we've done before and something we can do.
Fran, you talked about in our quick conversation after the game that execution wasn't quite what you wanted, what you're talking about right there, but too much going east to west, not enough north to south. Talk about that a little bit, little dribble handoffs and that you were doing, and we really couldn't get that corner turned. Is that what
when you're playing against drop coverage, dribble handoffs are a good way to go with the 5-man because the defender is back. But you don't want to get into the habit of everybody's dribble handing off to everybody because they're just going to switch the other ones. So you're not getting any action to the rim. So that's got to come from penetration or cuts. When we did score, if you remember, we had a number of opportunities where DeSante drove and then we cut and then we drove and Peyton ends up in the corner against a 3. We had that little run late, about midway to late in the second half. So that comes from penetration and screening and cutting. We were too content to be 5 out with dribble handoffs, and that's where the east-west comes in, because now you're going east and west, and the idea is to drive the ball, whether it be off a ball screen or a ball screen refusal, and get north and south. And we didn't do enough of that.
We're with Coach McCaffrey on Hawk Talk at the Hyatt Regency here in the Iowa River Landing in Coralville. Come on out and join us tonight. We're here each and every week for 90 minutes talking Hawkeye basketball. We're sponsored by Bud Light. Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And by U.S. Cellular is a proud sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular, built for us. We're taking your thoughts, your comments, your questions on Facebook and on Twitter. We're talking about Iowa-Purdue last night in West Lafayette. We got a game in 48 hours. The Hawks and the Cyclones renew their Cy-Hawk Series battle. We'll talk about that when we return here on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at U.S. Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from U.S. Cellular, you can even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at U.S. Cellular. Get any phone free today. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Welcome back to the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. A beautiful spot. It's tastefully, beautifully decorated for the Christmas holiday. It's worth the drive, if nothing else, right down through the Iowa River Landing here in Coralville, where lots going on this time of year. Happy holidays. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, and we look forward to Christmas. We're with Bobby Hansen and Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Since we last visited, Coach, we've been talking about Purdue, but last Wednesday night, solid win over North Florida before you stepped into conference. And I bring up North Florida. The Hawks put 100 up on the board. Owen Freeman, freshman of the week for the third time, tying Aaron Whitey for the most in program history for a single season. And Owen registered a career-high 16 points on 6 for 8 shooting, 5 rebounds, 5 block shots, 3, of course, in that incredible jumping jack sequence underneath the basket when he blocked 3 on the same possession against North Florida. And the 5 blocks were the most since Keegan Murray swatted 5 away against Longwood in 2021. So Owen's averaging 10 points, 62% shooting. He's got a team-high 15 blocks. Well, he's everything you recruited.
Yeah, he's everything that we hoped he'd be. But like I've said to you before, I think we knew what we had when he committed to us. We went after him hard when he was really young. He was only a sophomore, and we I think recognized that not only is he talented and would come ready, but also has upside because of his character and his intellect. His family background. I mean, he's just somebody you love coaching every day. I think it's scary to think about how good he's going to be. Mm-hmm. And we have to be careful that, we have to appreciate what he is and then bring him along so that he becomes a guy that I think can play in the NBA.
He was terrific last night. He got some deflections, rebounds.
Yeah, it was a different experience for him because he's guarding a guy that they're going to every possession. And so you're trying to figure out, okay, the ball's here. They're going to throw it back, throw it in. They're going to down screen, run Detroit action and go high-low from the top of the key. So now he's going to walk me into the lane and try to spin and post, or he's going to walk me into the middle lane and turn and put up his left hand, and they're going to throw it in. So, like I said, the only way that you can stop that guy is if you get help. You have to have high-hand closeouts. You have to put pressure on that pass that leads to the pass that goes to him. So you got to push that guy out a little bit further than we did. All things we worked on and tried to do and just didn't really get around to doing as well as we would have liked.
And Coach, back to North Florida there, you mentioned the big game by Owen Freeman. A lot of guys had really good games. He had 5 in double figures. My memory is Tony Perkins, who had just lost his grandmother, and emotional time for him, and he really stepped up there. I think it was mostly in the first half, but ends up with 21 points on 8 of 10 shooting. Tony is a bulldog, and to play through that type of emotion, I think is admirable.
It's interesting because his relationship with his grandmother is very special. And, Tony's awesome young guy, but he's pretty quiet, pretty private. And he opened up quite a bit because he was really, really upset because not only did he lose his grandmother, but it was unexpected. So, he gets the phone call and he's very, very close with her. So he's really upset. And I think it's been said many times that she was really a fan of his and loved watching him play, come to the games all the time. So it was never a question as to whether he was going to continue to play. He said, I'm going to make her proud. And so, to be honest with you, and I said this after the game, and I meant it, I wasn't surprised because I know just how fiercely competitive he is. And he was not going to let us lose that game. I mean, he started the game in an incredible fashion. threes, drives, finishes, stealing the ball, rebounding the ball, just imposing his will on the game. Because that was a formidable team. You know, they made 12 threes. They shoot a ton of threes. They had a really good player in the kid Lanier. Really impressive.
Chaz
and that's
Lanier.
the thing now. You got, when you play these teams, they're going to show up with 7 guys that are 23 years old.
Transfer portal guy.
Yeah, you know, it's not looking. They have 3 guys back, and they have 2 sophomores and 4 freshmen. You don't see that anymore.
Days are over, aren't they?
Yeah, those. You know, now we're a little bit unique in the sense that we're playing 4 freshmen. But we have, you know, some veteran guys back, and you know, obviously Tony, Patrick, and Peyton are the, you know, 3 of those guys, and Ben Crickey's a veteran guy. Evan Bronze is a veteran guy, and so we have some veterans, but we have some young guys, and we're probably one of the few teams in the country that's playing 4 freshmen, you know, substantial minutes.
And, you know, Evan Bronze gave you some quality minutes last night.
Yeah, and I got to get him in more often. And he's worked really hard. He deserves to get in there. You know, I've been playing a few more of the perimeter guys, Dolph. You know, I'm obviously getting Josh and Brock, Desante, Tony, Peyton, Patrick, all those guys, and trying to get him and also Price Sanford, because he's a guy that is Mr. Basketball in Iowa and a really good shooter. And a really good player, and deserves to be in there. So, you know, it's difficult to get as much playing time as you would like for all of those guys. But what I've done, and you can see that in the stats, I've made sure we get them all in there.
For sure.
Coach, Josh, you mentioned Josh. I love his game, but does he need to be a little more selfish, you know, looking for his shot?
Yeah, you know, I certainly wish he would be. I mean, he's got the green light as far as I'm concerned. He's just one of those guys. I mean, Robbie Hummel in shoot-around, yesterday asked me, he said, does that kid ever make a mistake? I said, no, he really doesn't.
Never do.
He doesn't make a mistake. He's always in the right place. You know, so I think you're almost kind of referring to would it be okay if he just played with a little more reckless abandon once in a while? And I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, we turn, as you know, I mean, since I got here, we turn our guys loose. And if he made a few more mistakes, he'd still be way on the positive side of the ledger with positive play.
From where he came back from that injury was, ooh.
Yeah, you know, and everybody's like, wow, it was amazing. But the thing about it is, and you know this, he never missed a practice. He never missed a minute of practice. Never missed a game. Never went to the training room. Never said, my leg hurts. I'm sure it did. He never said anything. That's just kind of the way he's wired.
Coach, we had Brock Harding as our Old Dominion best in the game last night, and he certainly deserved it. He played extended minutes in that second half, was part of the comeback. He got it under 20 there late, granted, but 7 points, several assists. He hit a 3. I love his dribble drive, and he's always got his head up. Such a smart player.
Yeah, you know, we thought that would be a good game for him. His creativity, his ability to kind of keep his dribble against the drop. You know, whenever you play a team that plays ball screens the way they do, it's going to be a good game for Brock Harding. Same for Tony Perkins. I think as we saw that last year. Remember, he had 32 against Illinois. They had Dane Dania. They were playing drop coverage. We just gave the ball to Tony. It's like, what did you run? We just gave the ball to Tony, and we ran a ball screen, and he got to the free throw line, or he hit a pull-up, or he kicked it. You know, remember the one he kicked to Connor, and Connor made one more, and Peyton hits the huge 3. You know, so those guys benefit from that space. So you have to be able to take that space and then make the right decision. That's what Brock does.
Yeah, Brock Harding, 23 assists on the year. Trails only Desante Bowen. Desante's the leading assist man for the Hawkeyes with 27. And Brock's been doing it in limited minutes, I guess. Like you said, want to get him on the floor a little bit more.
Yeah, you know, and same with Josh. You know, we need to get him on the floor more.
Coach, we'll take a break, come back with more on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from the Hyatt Regency. We have a special guest coming up in just a minute. We'll also update the U.S. Bank scoreboard. Illinois playing out at Madison Square Garden tonight in the Jimmy V Classic. The holiday tournaments continue. Attention Hawk fans who buy your own health insurance, Wellmark is on your side and on the health insurance marketplace. Let's give it up for plans you can afford. Check out wellmark.com/hoops to compare plans. Between 8 and 8:30, we'll talk about Iowa State coming up Thursday night. Of course, that's part of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. Iowa Corn promoting values that are uniquely Iowan. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all athletes for their hard work and determination to be the best both on and off the field. Just like our athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Follow Iowa Corn on Facebook to learn how corn grows Iowa. Cyclones hosting the Hawkeyes at Hilton Coliseum. That's a 6:30 tip-off. Thursday night pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network at 5:30. More on that in just a minute. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. While farmers work hard to grow the best crop, their Iowa corn checkoff investments are hard at work too. Opening local and global markets for corn and corn-fed products, educating drivers on unleaded 88 as the best fuel at the pump, finding new uses for corn, and sharing the farmer's story. Iowa corn farmers are backed by researchers, educators, market experts, and more. To keep corn growing Iowa.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at U.S. Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from U.S. Cellular, you could even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at U.S. Cellular. Get any phone free today. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. I'm Gary Dauphin alongside former Hawkeye great Bobby Hansen. Coach McCaffrey's taking a little break. We've got a special interview coming up. But first, a 10-second ID break on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa and Iowa State coming up Thursday. But right now, let's let our stations identify themselves on the Hawkeye Radio Network. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. Going to change gears a little bit, talk about the Hawkeye Bowl trip. Iowa, of course, the West Division champions in football. Congratulations to Phil Parker today, named the top assistant coach in all of college football. The Broyles Award winner. Way to go, Philly. And he was up against some heavy competition, and Phil Parker announced late this afternoon as the Frank Broyles Award winner as the top assistant coach. He joins Norm Parker as winner of that prestigious award, and we hope to catch up with Phil later in the week. We want to talk a little bit about the bowl travel plans, courtesy of Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited, Iowa's official bowl tour. Proud to announce the Hawkeyes are officially bowl eligible. Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited is Iowa's leader for game tickets, air travel, and hotel. Sign up. You can sign up automatically to receive official bowl travel information at HawkeyeSports.com/Bowl Central. Of course, we know the Hawks are going to play the Southeastern Conference Tennessee Volunteers in the Citrus Bowl. That's New Year's Day. Our pregame coverage starts at 10 o'clock on New Year's morning. Kickoff at at noon Iowa time from Orlando. And with us to talk a little bit more about that is Alex Jasper from Travel Destinations Unlimited. Alex is the travel coordinator for Travel Destinations Unlimited, and tickets or spots on the plane are being sold at a quicker pace, right?
They are. So it's always exciting this time of the year, and we always know, it's usually. Sorry,
You're good.
I'm
You're
a
good.
newbie.
You're good.
So yeah, we always know bowl packages sell, very quickly. It's usually 1 or 2 days for the plane, which is always exciting for us. So our charter actually has just a few spots left. We still have plenty of land to sell, but yeah, so charter went fast, which is always exciting for us.
Well, and why wouldn't Orlando be a popular destination? Because people or Hawk fans love it's Disney World, it's SeaWorld. There's a lot going on in Orlando other than football.
And it's just as simple as getting out of Iowa at the end of December too. So.
Even though the weather's been more palatable, but you're right, it's a lot warmer in Orlando this time of year,
exactly.
Right?
And I know we had gone there just 2 years ago, and it was a great time there. Played Kentucky. This time, going to play Tennessee. So. Well, I guess in general for Iowa fans, it's the first time getting a different team other than Kentucky in the last couple of years.
Yes, and we love the Stoops brothers, but it's nice to play somebody else. And
exactly.
Josh Heupel, who's the head coach at Tennessee, was on that quarterback that national championship team of Bob Stoops back in 2000 when. Chuck Long and Jonathan Hayes, and of course Bob and Mike Stoops. A lot of Iowa connections between Josh and the Oklahoma program, and of course the University of Iowa. But do you have a lot of side trips planned at this point around Orlando for those that want to take those extended, grab the entire package?
We usually don't, because what we've learned is in general the fans just really like to go there for
on
football.
Their own.
So. We'll do whatever we can as far as Hawkeye-related events, whatever's going on. But for the most part, we've learned over the years, people really just want to go there for football, which is fine with me.
And we're just about finalized on our Hawk Huddle and our Hawkeye Bowl Hawk Talk program from down in Orlando. That'll be coming out here in the next few days. So tell us about where those that maybe have been waffling or hanging on the vine, Alex, where should they go to sign up for the official bowl travel tour of the Hawkeyes?
So there's a couple different ways to go about it. You can go to iowasportstours.com. You're able to sign up online directly. Or you can give us a call at Destinations Unlimited, 319-393-1359. You can ask for myself, and we can get you set up. So it's a 3-night package, December 30th through January 2nd. So we take off after the day after the game, and so.
Say I want to go down, take the family, and drive down and stay for a week or 10 days and do all the other things after the bowl. Is that acceptable? Is that available?
Definitely. So yeah, we do have, like I said, we have our charter package, which is just about sold out, just a few spots. We also offer land packages. So if it is something that you want to go in earlier, or if you want to stay later, we can definitely help get that set up for you.
Give me the number again, 319-393?
1359.
1359. Alex Jasper, Travel Destinations Unlimited, the Hawks' official bowl travel partner. Thanks for coming by, Alex.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Great to see you. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
All right. We're going to come back to a U.S. Bank. Well, let's do a U.S. Bank scoreboard update right now. A few games involving Big Ten teams going on as we speak. In fact, Wisconsin has just gone final. The Badgers have knocked off Michigan State in East Lansing, 70-57. Wisconsin playing awfully well of late. They knocked off Marquette over the weekend. Illinois has just gone final of the Jimmy V Classic out at Madison Square Garden. It was the Fighting Illini over Florida Atlantic, 11th ranked Florida Atlantic. They were in the Final Four this past March, and the Illini put up 98 on FAU, 98-89. That's the final. Indiana at Michigan. Big Ten basketball tonight just underway. The Hoosiers at Michigan have a 2-0 lead on the Wolverines. That's our U.S. Bank scoreboard update. When we come back, Coach McCaffrey and Bobby Hansen rejoin me as we look forward to a Thursday night trip to Ames and Hilton Coliseum, where the Hawks take on Iowa State. That's our topic of conversation when we return from this important commercial timeout. We're at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield. Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at US Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from US Cellular, you could even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, you know, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corn grows Iowa.
If you're looking for the perfect place to host your holiday party, look no further. Come to Bumps at Finkbine. Have a good time as our new chef, Rick McCombs, provides an unforgettable experience. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday Super Social Hour, where Bumps offers buy one, get one free on domestic beer bottles, house wine, well cocktails, and appetizers. Not only is Bumps the ideal spot for Hawkeye pre-gaming, they also offer a fantastic Sunday brunch. Bumps is your one-stop spot for great food and a great time. Go to finkbine.com for more information.
All right, the Hawks and Iowa State get after each other on Thursday night. Iowa at Iowa State. You can hear the game here on the Hawkeye Radio Network starting at 5:30 with our pregame coverage. 6:30 for the tip-off with Bobby and I. We got Coach McCaffrey alongside on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from the Hyatt Regency. All right, Fran, first glance at Iowa State. What's TJ's team look like this year?
I think it all starts with Lipsy. He's been really impressive to me. He was really good last year, I thought, as a freshman. But, you know, he's really, I think, gotten to the point where his game is really mature. Not that it wasn't. He was Mr. Basketball in Iowa his senior year. But he He controls the ball. He controls the defense. He can score in a variety of ways. He gets to the rim, and really good penetrating the basketball and finding his teammates. But they got a lot of other good players. Number of transfers, both starting and coming off the bench. But Momcilovic is a really good freshman. About 6'8", can really shoot the ball. He's been impressive. Robert Jones is somebody that he played AAU with Patrick. They were on the same team, so he transferred, from Denver. Was a good player for them last year, but now in his 5th year is somebody that I think is really good. But they got a lot of good players.
Boy, Lipsey's line is impressive. 15
triple-double against DePaul.
Yeah, 6.5
This is hard when you're a point guard.
6 assists.
He's a really, really good rebounder.
Yeah, where's he getting the rebounds, Fran? Defensive board, just grab it, go?
But he gets offensive boards.
Does he?
Yeah. But he does do what you said. He does get defensive boards, but he's an elite offensive rebounder, which is a rare comment
like Isaiah
for a
Thomas.
point guard. Yeah. Right? Point guards are typically told, get back. I was a point guard. I didn't get offensive rebound. You better go back and protect that basket. Stop the ball.
That's the first thing I looked at. Like, he leads them in rebounding? Maybe we can run on him.
Yeah. I mean, you can, but you got to get the ball. He's one of those guys, he just has a keen sense of where it's coming off. Like Rodman did. He's really good at that.
Good basketball sense.
Yep.
So defensive game plan without tipping your hand. How do you defend Lipsey and the Cyclones?
Like I said, they got a lot of weapons. I mean, King. I got two. King is really good. Curtis Jones and Pavletsky are two big-time scorers at their previous schools. They transferred. Those guys are coming off the bench. They were both made a ton of threes and just were really good players. Same with Gilbert. He starts. He transferred from UNLV. So they were all either the leading scorer or the second leading scorer at their previous location. So they're all veteran guys. So whereas, they lost some really good players, whether it be Osuni or Caleb Grill, the other kid that transferred from St. Bonaventure. They were really good players. They're all gone, as is Kalsher, who's been there, was there for a while.
Gabe.
Transferred from Minnesota, but was there for a good 3 years. A really good player for them. And they replaced them with veteran guys. Of course, Momcilovic is a freshman, and Omaha Blue is a freshman.
What's Momcilovic? Is he outside three-point shooter?
Yeah, he's as good a shooter as you're going to see at 6'8", 6'9".
45% from three.
He's shooting 45%, but also he's got that Nowitzki one-legged step back, which, as you know, Bobby, is really hard to block when you're that tall. So he just kind of leans in and just steps back. It's kind of like trying to block a jump hook. You're just not going to get there.
Hard to do. Trey King's putting up some good numbers, Fran. 10 and 5.
He is a big, strong, physical athlete. I think this is his third school. He was not eligible last year when we played them. He was ineligible for the first semester. He became eligible because he transferred. And played really well for them in the second part of the season. He played like 20 games last year for them.
Let's go to Facebook. Warren says, Coach, these December games seem to sneak up on us every year. Would you prefer Big Ten play start in early January like it used to?
It can't. Playing 20 games.
For sure.
Not enough time.
We're not playing 16 games anymore, or 18.
Eugene would like to know, how are the scouting responsibilities distributed among your staff? Like, as an example, Matt had the scout last night on Purdue.
You basically go every third game. There's 3 of them that break it up. The only difference would be if you have a team that you had last year and the year before. So, Matt he had Iowa State last year, so he's got Iowa State this year. So it's not normal where you would have 2 games back to back. But, we also don't know. I mean, obviously we know at some point, we got Purdue in the first game of the Big Ten schedule. But he had Purdue last year. So he has Purdue and Iowa State this year. We play them back-to-back. We didn't know that was going to be the case.
I mean, this is quite the week. I mean, Purdue last night, Iowa State Thursday, and we won't have a whole lot of time to talk about Michigan, but you got them on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, you know, you're always going to play 2 Big Ten games in early December. We're always going to play Iowa State in early December. You know, we've typically played the Big Ten ACC Challenge and the Big Ten Big East Challenge. Big East was in November. That was the whole purpose behind that. But as you know, both of those went away for a variety of reasons.
Yes.
We broke contact with the ESPN, so there went the challenge, the ACC Challenge, and then our league decided not to continue the contract for the Big East Challenge.
Yeah, and a year ago we were in Madison Square Garden playing Duke and Jimmy V.
What it does is it gives you the flexibility to play those kind of opportunities when they come. So if we get a chance to play in the Garden, we will. As you know, we played those games up in Sioux Falls. We played Colorado,
Pentagon,
at the Pentagon, and Utah State. We're going to probably play up there next year against somebody. I'll be a Power 5 school. Be playing somebody up there next year. And remember, we played a couple years ago. We played Cincinnati down at the United Center.
Yes.
So the important thing is that we schedule those kinds of games moving forward, since those challenge games went away. And, you know, I don't know if we would add another challenge, because there's only a couple opportunities you have. If you're not going to do the Big East, you're not going to do the ACC, you're left with the Big 12 and the SEC. Maybe that's a possibility. Who knows?
Fran, when they add the 4 more out on the West Coast, how many regular season Big Ten games do you
right now
see
it's
having?
20. I suspect that number will go up, but hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we've got to take our final break here, and then we'll come back and wrap up this week's Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. Attention, Hawk fans who buy your own health insurance, Wellmark is on your side and on the health insurance marketplace. Let's give it up for plans you can afford. Check out wellmark.com/hoops to compare plans. We'll pick our authentic brand winner for the most intriguing, interesting question or post tonight on Facebook or Twitter when we come back. We're at the Hyatt Regency. Santa Claus is coming to the Hyatt Regency for breakfast. We'll tell you about that when we return on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with the University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at US Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from US Cellular, you could even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, you know, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel. Good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smartertogether. Member FDIC.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Finish.
Hey, welcome back to the Hyatt Regency. Quite the cheering section here tonight for Coach McCaffrey and Hawk Talk at the beautifully remodeled Hyatt Regency in the Edgewater Bar and Grill, and the staff has been doing a great job of taking care of us. So come on out this week, next week for sure. It's the holidays. It's a tastefully decorated hotel as well as the Iowa River Landing. Fran, we were talking a little earlier before you got here. Congratulations, Coach Phil Parker today was named the Broyles Assistant Football Coach of the Year, and that's hard to do.
That's a shocker.
Yeah. That's one of your
Who else was going to win it?
Well, we were.
You only flew one guy down there.
Cancel the award.
We were fearful that Sharon Moore at Michigan, who did a great job in Harbaugh's absence, might get it. But that's offense versus defense, and they're both on the same field Saturday night. But the job that Hawkeye defense did against Michigan held them roughly 200 yards.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, he's got to get it at least once. He probably should have got it more than once.
Every year his defense.
He's right there every year. You got to. I mean, the guy's got to get it at least once. So I'm just happy for him. One of the good guys, as you know.
Great guy.
And fabulous coach. And just grinds every year and gets the job done.
Learned under the great Norm Parker. I remember when he came here to Iowa City, Norm and I and Phil played a little round of golf together.
Well, Norm was my guy. I mean, we used to travel around on the I-Club circuit, and the two of us would insult Dolph repeatedly.
Which is regularly, yeah.
Dolph and Tom Brands. We would kill both of them.
And Norm loved to dig Tom Brands.
Oh, he was beautiful.
Great stories.
I used to love to sit, talk to him, and just have him tell one story after the other.
And Norm won the Broyles Award. And it's only appropriate
that Phil would win it.
By the way, the Parkers are not related in any way other than Norm coached Phil, and Phil was an all Big Ten defensive back at Michigan State. Norm was the linebacker coach, and then later the coordinator under George Perlis, who was a throwback in his own right.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations, Phil. Well deserved. Coach Ann checks in on Facebook. Do the men's and women's programs ever have shooting contests during the year?
No, we're kind of busy.
They did that preseason, didn't you?
Yeah. In the preseason, yes.
Outdoors.
We've done that. Remember we did one outside. Remember 2 years ago? They shut the street down.
That's right. I'd forgotten
that.
About
Was
that
fun.
One.
And then we did a Midnight Madness thing one year.
I remember the Midnight Madness.
That was in October. So it's always in like October or late September. But once the season starts now.
Well, Ann, you got your answer, but that was also a nice, unique, intriguing question. So you're our Authentic Brand merchandise pack or box winner for the night, Ann. Congratulations, and thanks to Authentic Brand, the official outfitter of Bobby and I and our Eddie Podolak and our broadcast crew, outfitting thousands of fans on game day. Gear up for game day and every day, and officially licensed Hawkeye apparel and accessories from Authentic Brand. Drew says, Coach, what's your philosophy in dealing with something like last night in West Lafayette? Are you flush it, move on to the next, look at the tape, get rid of it, or is it more like, okay, guys, we're going to talk about how this is one of your greatest opportunities to grow and learn? I suppose, do you expand on that? Go Hawks.
Yeah, you don't flush it and move on. You deal with it. You study it. You make corrections, you make teaching points, and you grow from it. It's not like I'm going to go into the locker room and turn tables over and start blaming everybody, pointing fingers, because whenever you lose, it's we all win together, we lose together. And so if we lost, a lot of that falls on the coaching staff, myself, obviously, and then our coach. We worked hard. We thought we had something good in terms of a game plan. It didn't work. All right, what could we have done differently? And what did you learn that you won't do in the next game? Or there were a few good things. Well, let's make sure we keep doing that. You know, it's not all doom and gloom, even when you lose by 20.
Well, and we've talked about, you know, Brock Harding, Owen Freeman, getting the freshmen in there.
Price got the 2 jumpers at the end.
Yes, yes, exactly. Price
Confidence.
Hit a big 3. And,
you know, Peyton hit 3 threes in the second half. Patrick got to the free throw line 8 times. Cricky had 16. You know, we didn't rebound. And it's just impossible to beat them if you don't rebound better.
And they tagged Peyton. You could see that. You knew that was coming in the first half early.
That's pretty much every game.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you get him loose? More screening?
Well, you got to screen for him, and you got to run him around. You got to run some stuff for him. But you got to look for him. You know, you got to be a little patient. Remember, you know, whenever we had guards a few years ago. Whoever we're playing, they're doubling them, they're fronting them, they're beating them up, coming down the floor. So they're locked in on him. Well, our passers have to be locked in on him. You got to wait. You got to wait. You got to get a better angle. You got to move it, move it, move it. Now we can get it to him. Like if we just give up on him the first time we look in there and he's covered, well, guess what? He's going to be covered. You know, but he's also the best player in college basketball. We've got to throw him the ball. You know, so, you know, Connor McCaffery led the nation in assist turnovers because he waited and made sure we got Luka the ball because he knew that was going to lead to wins, which it did.
Coach, Jeff on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Fran, what kind of challenges impact practices and games with final weeks coming up? He's talking about the challenges that final weeks present.
Yeah, you know, that's something that we've been dealing with as coaches at this level for years. So you know, we have rules here in terms of when you can actually schedule games. So we'll schedule our practices around the final schedule. And if you have somebody that can't be there, they can't be there. You know, finals take precedent. We try not to schedule too much in that week and let those guys focus as best they can on the academic side, get through finals and do well. I shouldn't say get through finals, and do well in finals. Better way to put it.
For sure.
There's enough pressure on these kids as there is. You know, you start putting game pressure and finals pressure at the exact same time. That's difficult. You know, so we'll give them some flexibility there, and we'll schedule accordingly.
All right. So you got teed up for the first time last night.
Was the first time?
That's my question. Was that the first?
No, I don't remember. No. This year. This season. This season. Okay. Yeah, no, not.
I don't think anything in San Diego. Dolph wasn't there, but
I was close. I was close.
How do you know, Eric Curry, longtime official? I just don't understand. In a scrum like that,
it's one of my pet peeves.
How do you give out a timeout?
You know, the guy. He runs up to the guy standing at the 10-second line and calls timeout, and he gives it to him. When everybody's watching, like there's 9 hands on the ball. I mean,
that's my point.
And then you tee up the coach. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, I should have let you back.
Yeah. You know what? You screwed the call up. Don't tee me up.
Don't tee me up. That's a good note to end on. Happy holidays.
You too, Dolph. I hope you have a great one.
See you in Ames.
Yeah, what better place to
Thursday.
spend the holidays than in Ames, right? Thanks, Coach. Good to see you. Thanks, Bobby.
All right, Dolphy.
As always,
Good
we'll
job,
see
man.
you over in Ames tomorrow night.
2 days.
Thanks to our wonderful staff here at the Hyatt Regency for hosting Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey. 5:30 for the pregame show, 6:30 for the tip on Thursday night from Hilton Coliseum. We'll talk then. Good night, everybody.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, brought to you by Authentic Brand, unique Hawkeye apparel at authentic-brand.com. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. By your local Ford dealers. Hy-Vee, score big savings with the new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular, built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular, built for us. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.